Good morning, all.
Hi.
Morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm Elise. I don't know if we've met virtually yet.
Elise, are you with an organization or are you with a department, a coordinator?
I'm one of the campaign assistants.
Oh, okay. We haven't met yet. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet
the
you.
volunteer chair.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Doing okay. I mean, I usually love this event. It's so
Yeah.
sweet, and it's so sad we can't do it in person.
I know.
It's usually this really lovely, warm, just, very thoughtful, and it's just this always just, you walk out feeling really, touched as far as hearing the speakers and then energized. And so we, we'll do what we can.
Yeah. It's interesting because I haven't experienced it not.
So let's go back to recording. I think we're recording now. Yep. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm JoLynn Mason. I am the campaign manager for the UW Combined Fund Drive, and I'm so happy to welcome you today. I'm so pleased that you took time to join us. Seeing your names and faces is really heartening. You guys are what makes this campaign so successful, and knowing that you're coming out this morning to make us one of your Zooms is really meaningful to me. It's so nice to see so many folks that I know and recognize from years past. I'm happy to see that we have new people. Any of the returning coordinators will tell you this is probably one of the funnest things that they do. It was the funnest thing I did in my job when I was a campaign coordinator. So I hope that you have a great experience this year. In my wildest dreams, I couldn't have imagined all the twists and turns that went into putting together this year's Combined Fund Drive campaign, or really anything in 2020. We don't have to look far, looking around locally and nationally and internationally, to see that the needs in our community are really clearer than ever. Our member charities are responding to increasing needs with decreasing resources, and we at the UWCFD and you as campaign coordinators have the ability to impact that, to make people's lives better. By sharing the message of the CFD, you have a chance to let your colleagues know that together we can make a real difference. We can build a stronger and more caring community, the kind of place that I think we were all proud to call home. I'm very pleased to introduce this morning's first speaker. Mindy Kornberg is the University of Washington's Vice President of Human Resources, and this is her 14th year leading our campaign as executive sponsor. Yay, thank you, Mindy. And we're so grateful for her leadership and commitment to this campaign. We could not do what we do without Mindy's help and support. So please joining me in providing a warm virtual welcome to Mindy Kornberg.
Well, thanks, guys. Good to see everybody. I'm like a bad guest you can't get rid of after 14 years. I also want to say that I love Zoom. Actually, I don't love Zoom, but when I was growing up, there was a show called Romper Room, and some of you may remember Romper Room. And every time I do a Zoom, I think of Romper Room because my entire childhood, I'd stand in front of the TV and go, I'm here, when they would say, I see John, and I see Sally, and I see Alberto, and I'm going, but Mindy's here.
I only saw it in reruns.
Yeah, so when JoLynn was going, I see so-and-so and so-and-so, and when she came to Mindy, I was very pleased that I finally got seen. Well, anyway, welcome. Thank you, JoLynn. As many of you know, JoLynn has been part of the CFD for many years, but she has just taken over leading this CFD program in the last year when Carrie retired. And JoLynn has just done a fabulous job of helping us transition from the live world to the virtual world. I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say that being a part of this year's CFD is an extraordinary opportunity to bring some light into this very dark year. And every time it seems like it couldn't get any worse, 2020 brings on another challenge. Everywhere we look, we see ongoing consequences of living with uncertainty. We worry about our jobs, we worry about our families, we worry about our health, we worry about our community, we worry about the world. And I have to tell you, if you're like me, it's absolutely exhausting. That's why you and this campaign are so important. And it's such an you're such an energizing light in this very difficult year. On top of all of the trials that you may personally be facing, you're willing to step up to help others. It's truly inspirational, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. As Jolynn mentioned, nonprofits everywhere are having difficulty. They're seeing decreases in their funding and increases in their services that are needed. Workplace giving campaigns, like our very own CFD, are critical to providing them a reliable funding source. Your role as a campaign coordinator is critical to helping thousands of nonprofits in the UW Combined Fund Drive campaign. You'll inspire, engage, and create a pathway for your colleagues to take action to the causes that are really important to them. Your work on this campaign really is a light in the darkness. There are so many ways that you can engage your colleagues and your colleagues, your coworkers, your friends to give, even if we're not all located together on campus. You can hold a virtual Zoom meeting. You can hold a virtual will be a theme here, folks. You can hold a virtual lunch. But what I want you to remember most is please, please participate and be sure to check out this year's virtual charity fair. Now, to help ensure early participation in this campaign, not that it's ever been necessary, because I must say, people really, really do give. The Washington State Employees Credit Union has graciously agreed to provide a $5 Starbucks gift card during the first week of the campaign to every donor who makes a pledge of $5 or more. Increases their current pledge by $5 or more, or tracks 1 hour of volunteer time. So I'm hoping for $15 worth of cards, because I'm gonna make a pledge, make another one, and give an hour. So Jolynn, put 15 bucks aside for me. I want to thank all of our veteran coordinators, and generally when we meet in the big room, in the hub, I ask everyone how many have been with us for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, and it's just fascinating to me how many long-term folks we have. So I wish you all the success as you raise money and awareness and surpass your own goals for this year's campaign. If you're a new coordinator, welcome. I think you'll find this exciting and, as Jolynn said, a really fun part of your year. You are a champion for the campaign, and you are a champion for the many nonprofits it represents who need all of our help. Our nonprofit partners are working to create a healthy world with your help on this campaign and the university's collective support. We can help them achieve the mission. Remember, you make a difference, and together we all make a difference, and we are ready to take on this year's challenge. So it won't surprise you that we selected a featured charity that is sustaining our community in one of the most vital ways. Northwest Harvest, which is really close to my heart, is Washington's own statewide hunger relief program. And their mission is very simple: ending hunger in Washington. Simple, but very, very difficult. Northwest Harvest is the only nonprofit food bank distributor operating statewide in Washington, with a network of 375 banks, meal programs, and high-need schools. Throughout this network, they provide nearly 2 million healthy meals every month, serving people in need throughout all of Washington. I'm thrilled to welcome Laura Hamilton. Now, I will say that I served on the board of directors for Northwest Harvest for 9 years. Since I stepped down, Laura has come on. She's now the Northwest Harvest. She came in 2018. She's the Chief of Advancement and oversees fundraising and communications for the statewide agency. She came to Seattle in Northwest Harvest from Oakland, California, where she served as Director of Leadership Gifts for Alameda County Community Food Banks. She is passionate about connecting donors to vision of providing equitable access to food. Please join me in welcoming Laura. And before I forget, Laura, please pass on my best wishes to Jim Gibbs, if he's still there, and Mike Regis. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction, Mindy. And I'm sorry that we never had the opportunity to actually work together when you were on the board. And yes, James is still there. I think he's at 20 years. Mike Regis retired 2 years ago, but is still on the board and involved very much in what we're doing. Thank you to all of you on the call this morning for taking some time to not just learn about your combined efforts in supporting nonprofits across the state, but specifically to learn a little bit more about Northwest Harvest and what we've been doing in particular over the past 7 months. Really appreciate your time. And I think Mindy gave a great introduction into Northwest Harvest and who we are. A couple of other things I'll say about our work is Northwest Harvest was founded more than 50 years ago on really the core principle of providing dignity for people who were experiencing food insecurity. A small group of community members and activists took a look at a number of issues facing the city of Seattle at that time and determined that food was, having access to food was really one of the core things they felt they could do to have a positive impact on their community. That belief in dignity has really only strengthened over the years. We are one of the few food banks really across the country, I think, who actually have no requirements for receiving food from Northwest Harvest. If anyone were to come to our own Soto Community Market or to any of our partner agencies, our belief is that we will provide food, no questions asked. Oftentimes, for various requirements, food banks, meal programs require some sort of zip code identification, signing your name, any number of things that can be identifying and can actually cause people to be fearful of coming in and getting the support that they need. Northwest Harvest doesn't believe in that, and in fact, a movement that we are beginning in the coming year is actually establishing food as a basic human right in the state of Washington. Again, continuing on that commitment to dignity. And as a part of that, in addition to providing food to the 375 agencies across the state that Mindy referenced, we actually seek to understand and tackle the root causes of food insecurity, believing that truly over the long term, that will be how we address this issue of food insecurity. In particular, we recognize that communities of color and rural communities are disproportionately impacted by food insecurity. And so increasingly, we are looking at ways in which we can make sure that we're centering those communities and ensuring that we're addressing policies that affect those communities and their ability to secure food, and then also making sure that we're providing that equitable access to food and food that's culturally relevant for different communities across our state. Specifically, as we all know, and of course with everything being virtual this year, we understand how COVID-19 has so severely impacted every facet of our lives. Last year, close to 1 million people, I think it was about 870,000 people were identified as being food insecure in the state of Washington. This year to date, we're anticipating 2 million people across the state, and that number could in fact go higher. It's all over the news that unemployment rates continue to climb. There have been some glimmers of hope, both with employment numbers and with the economy, but still jobless claims were over 1.5 million through the end of the summer. Public positions are being furloughed, as we read about. We're reading about airline positions being furloughed, people being laid off. We don't know yet whether and when jobs will be coming back. And with all of that at play, we're anticipating that even with a significant increase in food insecurity we're facing right now, we're anticipating a peak in that food insecurity by November or December. Of course, what might also be impacting this is the potential increase in COVID cases as the weather turns colder. So how did Northwest Harvest respond? We immediately took the stance in mid-March to start pushing out as much food as we could to our partner agencies. Our board gave us the approval essentially to empty our warehouses. We were very fortunate at the time to be fully stocked at all 3 of our warehouse locations across the state. We have locations in Kent, Yakima, and Spokane. And we got on the phone with our partners and we're asking the question, how much can you take? How can we help? We started contacting smaller organizations, a lot of it going through word of mouth, talking to our partners, talking to community leaders, and identifying organizations who hadn't typically been partners of ours, but who were popping up and immediately providing food to communities. And we sought out ways in which we could help them as well. So those were in our immediate weeks of our response to the pandemic. And then, as I think everybody started to get our legs under us and do some planning, we formed a coalition with WSDA, with the governor's office, with Food Lifeline and with Second Harvest, the two other statewide, or 2 other large food banks in the state. Second Harvest covering Eastern Washington, Food Lifeline covering Western Washington. And we worked together to create a network so that we all went beyond our usual networks that we operated in. And we made sure to divide the state up so that we were each responsible for a portion of counties, and Northwest Harvest took responsibility for 13 counties, and created a plan to provide emergency food boxes. So rather than our typical model of providing food in bulk to these agencies, we actually developed a system to pack up the equivalent of 4 days of food that would feed a family of 4 into a box. It was of shelf-stable foods. It was approximately 12 to 15 pound box, and that was what we delivered out to agencies. In that manner, food could safely and efficiently be given directly to people who are coming to those agencies. As a result of all of this, and as a result of the disruption in the food supply chain, which at the time in April and May, we were reading quite a bit in the news, our costs increased dramatically. We typically are fortunate to operate on a model that we receive approximately 90% of our food in donated form and have a budget of about 10% for purchasing food. That literally flipped, where we were finding we were spending 90% our costs, or the food was costing 90% and we were only receiving about 10% donated. And we were incredibly lucky to have a huge outpouring of support. The community stepped up in ways that I'm still amazed by. We've been able to secure funding through the CARES Act to all support this work. The foundations and companies were others who stepped in and have provided funding to help us through this. With those emergency food boxes, we expanded over the summer. So we're currently providing 3 different types of boxes. We have the shelf stable food. We created partnerships with Full Circle Farms and Inaba Farms based in Yakima to provide fresh produce through the height of the growing season. And we also created a vegetarian box. So communities and families with certain dietary restrictions would have an easier time accessing our food that was going to make sense for them. We've distributed over 500,000 of those boxes across the state. We've worked with the National Guard in our warehouse in Spokane and in our warehouse in Kent, so that we can safely and efficiently have a core team of people who are packing those boxes, and we don't have to worry about putting our volunteers at risk. We don't have changing people coming in every day. We've had the same Guards people working with us since they started in the summer. This work will continue until the end of October. And we'll begin easing back into our previous model of working in November. And we'll still have an element of creating emergency food boxes. Our chief operating officer is designing multiple streams of how we'll be distributing food, so that we're staying mindful of the need that continues. But we're finding our partners telling us that they're ready, some of them at least are ready to be able to take back food in that bulk form. And some are saying they're not quite ready, and the emergency food boxes is what is the best model for them at this time. In addition to this emergency food response, we are also working with the state in a couple of other ways to take a broader look at what's happening. Our CEO is part of a statewide social support recovery team. And it includes Northwest Harvest representing the area of food security, but then we're also working with organizations that work in mental and behavioral health and in housing, so that as the state is looking at this idea of recovery from this pandemic, how can we make sure that we're addressing issues of poverty, food insecurity, social justice, racial justice, and what are these specific communities needing as they think about recovery, as they think about correcting perhaps how we had been approaching some things in the past. This is, I think, we're really proud and excited to be a part of this because of the holistic view that we're taking, and it's creating some really wonderful partnerships and with new organizations for Northwest Harvest. And one example of that is an organization that works with the Native Pacific Islander community. We are forming a partnership with them to make sure that we can find culturally relevant food to provide to people who may prefer having access to something like taro root and items that are normally can be difficult, if not impossible, to find when going to a food pantry. So we're really excited about just the new opportunities for working with different communities. We're also working with the state on building up a strategic reserve so that we can have that, we can have something in our warehouses at all times in case an emergency hits. And one example just immediately is last month when the wildfires were just ravaging through the state, particularly in Eastern Washington. In Malden, their food pantry itself was burned down. And so this whole community that had been devastated suddenly had no access to food. And because we had that emergency reserve, strategic reserve already in the making, we were able to respond immediately. So the last point I'll talk about is, of course, what you are all doing such amazing work in assisting with, which is touching on just our funding overall. Of course, the funding need to support all of this over the past several months has been immense. The community response, as I said, has been equally, if not more, so just astounding. And the need continues. So we are so incredibly grateful for all of the work that you all are doing in harnessing donations to the Combined Drive. And we are just pleased to continue to work with you to provide additional information when it might be helpful, different talking points or you know, press articles to share, anything like that. So we're really grateful for all that you do. And with that, I can check in if anybody had any specific questions about anything that I shared.
We can actually, Laura, thank you so much. Hi, it's Jolynn. We can ask Barb because we have lunch and learn scheduled on
Great.
Thursday. But thank you so much, everybody. Let's give Laura and the work that Northwest Harvest is doing a virtual hand. I'm using my little hand clapping icon because I love that icon. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
I tell people every year that I think I know all the charities, and every year I get a new charity crush because I discover a charity that I didn't know about that's doing amazing work. But when we picked you, it felt like such a natural thing because you have been really working so hard to stem the rising tide of food insecurity of Washington State. But then hearing you today talk about some of the programs that you are working on, and one of our coordinators called it out, really things that are compelling, like having no identification needed to pick up a bag of food at a food bank, because being at a food bank sometimes is traumatic enough without providing information. So thank you. Moving toward food as a human right. The fact that it isn't, I didn't know that, and I'm really actually super shocked. So thank you for your work on that. Culturally relevant food, food for vegetarians. That's huge. And I didn't know about that. So that's not even in my like thank you remarks, but I'm so impressed, and I'm so, I feel even better about our choice to have you as our featured charity this year, because so many of those thoughtful considerations for people in need are really things that matter to our staff and faculty at UW. And so I'm really glad that we get to be part of that. Thank you for the work you're doing to make sure nobody goes hungry. We're proud to help you and make sure that that folks across the state have the food they need. Coordinators, as you know, we had a little hiccup with the state CFD website. So this year, instead of the campaign kicking off today, it will kick off next Monday on October 12th, and we'll finish up on the 4th. I am really excited to highlight the work of Northwest Harvest throughout that time. I'm looking forward to helping us all find ways to raise money to feed people and to find new ways to introduce our UW community to nonprofits that are out there, all kinds of new digital pathways and opportunities. So I just want to share some of those opportunities, those digital learning opportunities that we've got for you this fall. Bring a colleague or two. You can have a virtual lunch date and attend our Fall Nonprofit Expo. It is next Thursday on the 15th, and we have a great partner called Event Hub, and we will have virtual charity booths staffed by actual nonprofit representatives from 11 to 1 that day. So you can come in and ask them questions just the same way as you would if we were back in the hub, except it'll be online, so not quite the same, probably not quite as much candy, but still super fun and educational. Another great feature of that platform is that after the event, the booths won't be staffed, but it will be up for about a month afterwards, so you can still visit and learn more about some of the nonprofits that are part of the CFD. We have 2 great e-card fundraisers coming up. I don't know if y'all remember those from last year, little cards. I do this because it's on the computer. That's how I envision little cards on the computer that you can send out to your colleagues and coworkers. We'll have one fundraiser that's supporting Northwest Harvest, and we'll have one set of cards that are supporting the UW COVID-19 Employee Emergency Fund. We recognize that so many of the folks here on campus are affected by the pandemic, and so we want to make sure that their needs are being met as well. So keep an eye out for those to launch. I mentioned Lunch and Learns. I'm super excited about these. We will have at least one. Some weeks we have 2 Lunch and Learns a week, where we will have different nonprofits coming together to talk about topics and areas of interest. We have a great one on Thursday talking about hunger relief and food insecurity. We have Northwest Harvest, we have Food Lifeline, University District Food Bank, and our own Hungry Husky, I can't say that word, sorry, food pantry here to talk about what's been going on in their world since the pandemic hit, and what they're doing to respond and how we can help. And as Mindy mentioned, the coffee card promotion is back from October 12th through the 18th. You can make a pledge of, if you make a new pledge of $5 or more, increase an existing pledge by $5 or more, or track 1 hour of volunteer time in our volunteer tracker, you will receive a $5 Starbucks gift card, compliments of Washington State Employees Credit Union. For real, I do not know what I would do without my morning coffee, especially now. So it's a great way to kick off the campaign and share some sweet news with your coworkers, help them pep up their morning and give so they get to feel good and be awake, 2 things I love. Coordinator connections, for those of you who are new, we have an opportunity for you to network with your colleagues, your other Combined Fund Drive coordinators. That will be a virtual event on October 22nd via Zoom. And so now I'm going to ask that Brady take me off spotlight view, and we are going to go to what is it called? To gallery view. Let's see if we can do gallery view. There we go. And I just want to take a couple screenshots of all of us because I'm so excited to see you all here. Like, Mindy, I feel that, you know, when JP Patches was calling out birthdays in this area, it's JP Patches. I was a birthday person once, and he told me to find a present in a dryer, and I, for real, felt like I was royalty. So I understand the I see you, but seeing all of you, so many of you, new faces, returning faces. I'm a people person and I'm a hugger, so I've been trapped with no hugging for a while. So I'm giving you all a virtual hug and saying thank you. And I'm going to take a couple screenshots. So wait, did I assign somebody to do that? Did I? Elise, you want to take a couple screenshots?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, you guys, this is really heartening to see you all here. You all have so much going on and you're so busy and you're still doing this. So thank you. And if you want, for those of you who have not received your goodie bag yet, I'm going to show you what your special coordinator gift is this year. We thought about doing a t-shirt, but who really sees t-shirts? Most of us are just, you know, from shoulders up most days. And so, oh, look, Brooke's got her t-shirt. Nice. Giving does matter, Brooke. But what about these fancy UW Combined Fund Drive masks, y'all?
All right.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
if you have responded to my goodie bag request and sent me your address, either home or work, wherever you want this sent, not only do you get a fancy face mask, you also get a bag of candy and treats. Because frankly, I get antsy when I can't give away candy. And Nicole will tell you that I just will sit and eat it. So I'm excited to have like 3 Tootsie Rolls and then give all the rest to you because I don't need that many Tootsie Rolls. Anyway, I also want to take a minute to thank our events committee and our campaign assistants. They helped make this event come together this morning, and we can't do it without them, their work. So let's give a round of applause to all the folks who helped make this a success. And you guys, I'm giving you a round of applause too, because for real, coordinators, without you, this campaign doesn't work. We don't have wheels. You are our cheerleaders. You are our spokespeople. You are the people doing the hard work in your offices, and you're taking this on, and I just appreciate it so much. So thank you. And now, because I think you all know how I feel about door prizes, I love them. We're going to do door prizes. And so I'm super excited. Also, for those of you who have not met Nicole Reeve Parker, she is our fabulous new workplace giving specialist. She took my role when I moved into Carrie's role. Nicole and I actually met 10 years ago as campaign assistants. So I now joke that being in the CFD is a lot like being in the mafia. Like once you're in for life. So she's got a list of everybody who signed up, and she's going to do a random number generator and pick a name. And if you're here, you win. And the first item that you win, the first person gets a super awesome tote bag from Northwest Harvest. It's got some, it's got an awesome 50th anniversary shirt and all kinds of other swag, and also my favorite chocolate candy. So Nicole, who is the lucky winner of the Northwest Harvest goodie bag?
Winner number 1 is number 73, Carol Recor.
Carol, are you still here? Carol, you got to pop up and let me know you're here.
Anybody see Carol?
All right, let's try
Let's
again
try
if we
it
don't have
again.
Carol. Too bad, so sad.
Somebody tell her later. Number 44, Amber Jeffries.
Amber, I swear I just saw you. There you are, Amber. I will drop this. I will follow up with you, and we will get this out to you. Thank you. And I love your Seahawks banner. Yay. Hold on, I have to write down who it goes to. All right, and the next item up for grabs is one of my personal favorites. Dick's Drive-In t-shirts, Dick's Drive-In postcards, and $10 of gift certificates to Dick's Drive-In. I know. If anybody wants to take me out to lunch, I am not going to say no. Nicole, who is going to take home this lovely Dick's Drive-In pack?
That is random number 66, Rosale Mariales.
Rosale, are you still here? Where are you? I know you were here before.
I see her.
Okay. All right, these go to you then. Enjoy. And you don't have to take me out to lunch. I was just kidding. Take somebody else out to lunch. All right. Next, I love this. This is, our charities give us such awesome things. And this is from the American Red Cross. It is a deluxe personal safety emergency pack. So it's got a light stick, a whistle, an emergency poncho, a mask, germicide. You're good to go with this. You put this in your backpack and you will be safe and sound. Nicole, who is going to take this lovely, lovely gift pack home?
Random number 28, which is Kiara Elliott.
Kiara!
Wow. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah, all
you.
kinds of exciting stuff in here. And then last but certainly not least, I don't have it to hold up because it's digital, but we have a $25 Starbucks gift card, which I know Nicole is very excited. She and I, without about 79 cups of coffee in the morning, are not going very fast. So this was a hard one to put in the world, but we're thrilled to put it out there because I know that so many of you are also coffee people. So Nicole, who's going to get this lovely Starbucks gift card?
It's random number 34, Melanie French.
Melanie, are you still here?
Melanie's sick.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm under the weather, but I am here.
all
Coffee
right.
sounds really good.
Yay! Melanie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Perhaps a delicious cup of coffee or tea will help you feel better.
Yes, that sounds great right now.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you all for coming to the kickoff. This is going to be a very different year than it's been in the past, and I'm excited.
We'll make it work.
We will make it work. We're going to Tim Gun this up. We're going to make it work. Coordinators, you are amazing. You're the leaders in this campaign. You're the key to its success. I am excited to see how we all shift. I'm going to use all the words in this unprecedented time. I'm excited to see how we all pivot and move the campaign online. You are smart, amazing, creative people, and I look forward to seeing how you recast your department campaign in the digital sphere. Thank you for all the work that you've already done and all the work you're about to do. Go forward and make this a great campaign. Guys, I'm so excited to work with you and see how this turns out. Happy campaigning. Bye all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, Anne. I didn't see you before.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Have a
Hi,
good
oh
day,
my God,
everyone.
Diana, I can see your actual face. It's so nice to see you. I am like a super nerd. I'm so excited to see you guys,
Look,
like for real.
I pulled out my shirt too.
Look, nice. You guys, love it. I love it. Thank you. Alexis, your picture looks super glamorous, by the way. Just want to let you know. Hi, Anne. Thanks. Oh, hello, my youngest employee.
It wouldn't be a Zoom without an Evan shot.
I would feel weird if I didn't see Evan.
Yeah, sorry, he just busted in here. Sorry.
That's
at least
okay.
At least it's just some of our core people here.
Yeah. Hey, Feline, how are you? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This was really awesome. Diana, let's touch base off Zoom because I would love to connect because it's been so long.
It has been, and Dean, I have been receiving your emails, and I know I owe you a response, and I'm not purposely ignoring you.
This is
Oh, you're
really
on mute.
heartwarming. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and
Thanks,
being part of
Diana.
this. I'm going to end this meeting because I've had like 17 cups of coffee and I need.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy campaign.
Thank you all.
Have a
Thank
good day.
you. Bye. Hi,
Bye.
Flo. Hey,
Thank
Anne.
you.
Bye.